When I got coached by you, your words stung a bit and lit a fire into my ass and made me go, dude, like, pull it together and figure it out.
Is it called tough love?
It's called the love you need here.
Yeah! Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Ashley. Welcome back to No More Ink, the ultimate deep dive into the contestants of Ink Master, who also happen to be some of the strongest artists in the game. Today I'm joined by none other than Bryan Black.
What's up?
Good time, boy.
Yes, ma'am.
I know a little bit about you, but the rest of the world might not.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with the basics. We'll pretend we're on a first date.
I love that.
You do?
Yeah.
Except you have to be honest about the answers. You can't catfish me.
Okay, but we're going Dutch on the bill.
All right.
Because I believe in equality.
Unless you leave early.
I'll be a gentleman. We'll wait. We'll
Okay,
wait to the very end.
We'll wait till the end and see how the date goes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. From the beginning, how old are you and where are you from?
I'm 36 years old. I'm from Southern California, and I reside in Fullerton.
I'm also 36. We already have something in common.
So tight.
It's going well so far.
Very cool.
When did you start tattooing?
Professionally, 9 years ago.
Non-professionally?
Probably messing around on my friends when I was like 17.
Does that count? It kind of might.
I feel like some people say it does. I think realistically, in the grand scheme of things, it does count. Because you are troubleshooting when you're messing around on your friends, right? Are you learning good habits? Probably not. But are you putting ink in skin? Yeah. Poorly,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, I could throw some macaroni in a bowl. Does that make me a chef? I'm just asking. I'm not choosing one.
No, that's totally right. But then that makes me delve into the question. I can buy a tattoo machine on Amazon. Does that make me a tattooer?
Yeah, that's true. There's a rumor that when you started tattooing, you got rejected by a bunch of tattoo shops in Orange County.
Everybody. So many shops. Literally, yeah, all the shops, a lot of shops.
Like you got rejected for your apprenticeship, or after your apprenticeship, you got rejected to come in as an artist?
No, rejected as in they didn't want to apprentice me. Like, so many shops did not want to apprentice me. I don't know why. I have my speculations, and I'm sure most tattooers who have done apprenticeships have their speculations as well. I wanted to be apprenticed by Tim Hendricks forever, but he was traveling so much all the time, so it just wasn't possible. So I would hit up all these other shops, but finally, long story short, he ends up saying yes, and I do an apprenticeship with him. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, a lot of people didn't want to apprentice me.
Well, it worked out, right?
Yeah.
Tim Hendricks is a legend.
He's the best.
When Tim started apprenticing you, you had sort of like a traditional, like old school type of apprenticeship, right?
I would say pretty full-on traditional.
Full-on traditional, like hazing?
No. Okay, so this is a thing with Tim when he apprenticed me. He didn't own a shop yet. So my apprenticeship, majority of it was done in the machine shop. So I learned how to build tattoo machines. And the deal was I could ask him whatever question I had as long as I was working and building tattoo machines. So I would make machines and try to remember and retain the information he was telling me about how machines were assembled and why we use certain wire gauges and whatever the all about machines that day. But also as I'm doing that, I'm asking him, hey, how come when I'm pulling a line, it's doing this? Or how come when I'm shading, it won't make like a smooth gradation? And he would tell me the answer to that, and I try to retain all that after doing my machines, and then go home and tattoo my friend. Take a picture of it, show up the next day at the machine shop, learn new machine stuff that day, show him the photo, and ask him to critique it, and then he would tell me what I did wrong, and then try to retain that information while still learning to build tattoo machines again. I was doing that for a while, and then I got picked up to work at Spotlight for my first shop.
And then it was real.
Yeah, I started to work at a professional tattoo shop. Wow. You know, super real.
So did you start off doing pretty much everything? Whatever came through the door?
Yeah, I'll do whatever the you want.
Still to this day?
Yes and no. I feel like, honestly, if someone goes, hey, I want a color portrait, I'd say, no, probably not. It's not my strong suit. I don't really do color portraits. I don't even really do color tattoos in general. Can I do a traditional tattoo that's off the wall in color? Absolutely, because I think that any tattooer who calls themselves a tattooer should be able to do a walk-in tattoo. So yes, I can do that. Can I figure some things out sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah.
And make it passable?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not too selective with my tattoos. I feel like everyone deserves the tattoo that they want, and if they pick me to do it, yeah, I'm stoked and I'm honored.
I love that.
Yeah.
You just take what comes at you.
Yeah.
You love doing black and gray. Do you consider that your specialty?
My specialty is listening.
You are a good listener.
I can listen pretty well.
You listen and you internalize and you process it, because throughout the competition, especially when I, got to become your coach, whenever we talked about things, you would be like, okay, well, we talked about da-da-da-da-da, so this is my plan.
You're like, when did I say that?
I'm like, I said that? I'm like, don't listen to everything I say. What are you listening to me for?
Yeah, yeah.
No, but it was cool because it was almost like you treated each critique like a seminar.
Totally.
And then every time you went into the next tattoo, you treated it like a test. The artists that go into this competition with that type of attitude are usually the artists that do the best, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not telling you this for our health.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
not like pulling it out of nowhere.
Yeah, you guys care.
We care.
Yeah, you want us to do well.
We do.
Yeah.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, because we're artists and we love beautiful art. Secondly, for the integrity of the competition. But lastly, is because tattoos are permanent. And
Yeah.
you always want people to get the best possible tattoo that they can get. I was thinking maybe we can go through some of your portfolio
Okay.
and look at some of your favorite tattoos that you did prior to coming in to compete.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Cool.
Let's look at these tatties.
Okay. Let's not critique them too hard, though.
I'm not gonna critique him. You tell me about him. Cool. Tell me about this piece.
I think this is his first tattoo, actually. I did this at Classic. He brought in a painting of this woman, and I just said, hey, I'd love to do this as long as you're cool with me translating it into a tattoo. So I just put some hard lines in it and did what I did.
I love how you're able to translate your style and everything into so many different genres. I love the pattern on the shirt too, on the blouse. It's cool. Makes it special. And I also love the color play of how like the flower petals.
Yeah, I
are
was just thinking,
falling.
I was like, I like that her lips are red. There's just like little subtle pops of red, which is cool.
My problem with black and gray tattoos that have a pop of color is a lot of the times the color's not balanced, right? Like if you have color flower petals, bring it up into the lip, exactly, and make it look like purposeful, like you're just hitting certain things.
Yeah.
That's definitely the correct way to do it. Next up, this is what I think of when I think about you, like when I think about Bryan Black tattoos, I think about this. It's strong,
Yeah.
it's bold, it's gonna look like that the day you did it. It's gonna look like that 10 years down the line, probably 20 years down the line.
That's like the best compliment a tattooer can give another tattooer. Because that's what I strive for, that's what you want. I tell clients that all the time and they kind of look at me funny. I'm like, dude, I want this tattoo to look like this tattoo when you're 80. I know that sounds up, and I know there's so many people that would be like, we're gonna look like when we're 80 anyways. Yeah, but I still want your tattoo to look like what it's supposed to look like. Anytime someone says, what is that? I missed my mark. And then you're gonna get in your head and you're gonna be like, did he miss his mark? Or am I just getting old? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
If you do it correctly, it'll look cool forever.
Right. Yeah, I love this tattoo, Bryan.
Me too, it was super fun. I remember you guys saying that to me at one point in the competition. You're like, we can tell you had fun in this tattoo.
You always can.
Yeah.
I feel like you can always look at a piece of art and tell if the artist actually loved doing it.
Yeah, it was sick to draw and just to do. And the dude was super cool too.
That's important too, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see the next one. Wow, look at you.
Jesus, who doesn't like him?
My whole back of my leg is Jesus.
Tight, very
Super
cool.
tight. Super nice, Bryan.
Thanks.
You didn't do anything like this on your season.
You know what's up? Not up, kind of up, but I feel like the whole time I was there, I never did anything that I would just do normally. All those traditional color tattoos, I don't really do. But you knew that because you worked with me. I didn't get to do one tattoo that I would normally do. That one that I actually did that was like the closest to what I would normally tattoo back home is that brain.
The brain.
That was like the closest thing. So like the multiple line weights and then the zoomed in to the brain.
And
right?
then some of the gray tones
Yes,
and
yes,
all
yes,
of
yes,
that.
yes.
I know. Looking at this tattoo, like this is a black and gray artist. It's like an illustrative black and gray artist. And through all of those critiques all season, when I was pretty harsh on you and everything, it was because I know you're capable of not just this, but anything, multiple styles, multiple different techniques. I wasn't trying to hate on like traditional tattooing. I love tratty tatties.
Yeah.
I just know you are more versatile.
I know why you're hard on me. I would have been hard on you too, because we know each other. We've worked next to each other.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna be honest with the people that you care about.
First of all, you know that they're capable of more, but secondly, you know they can take it.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought about that a lot when I was on the competition. I was like, dude, this is the most color tattoos I've done in the past 3 years.
Well, that's wild, because your color was some of the most solid, most saturated color of the season.
You know what's crazy though? That just tells you how far having decent fundamentals will take you in this competition.
Fundamentals are everything, because art is always going to be subjective.
Yes,
Always.
yes,
You can
yes,
have
yes.
10 tattoos on display and 10 people in a room, and each one of the 10 people can choose a different tattoo as their personal favorite. So in a tattoo competition, the fundamentals are what holds everything together, because no one can debate a solid line. It's either
Yeah.
solid or it's not.
Totally.
It's not a matter of opinion, you know?
yeah.
But this is dope.
Thanks.
So let's talk about this totally crazy challenge that ultimately sent you home.
Okay. I would
You got a
love- I
big smile
can't-
on your
I
face. You're like, I can't wait to
I
talk
can't wait
about
to
this.
talk
Oh,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
You must create a new school portrait.
Oh, what the It's hard.
So I know you specialize in color portraits. It's your favorite
it's
thing
the
to do.
thing I do. It's my thing.
Yeah,
I
your
do
thing.
sometimes. Throughout the whole competition, I would constantly say to myself, just be like, this is so up. This is so because it's so hard. Nothing about this competition was easy. Nothing. You've done it. Nothing is easy.
No.
Making friends isn't easy.
Making friends is always easy for you. Well, I
It
guess
is, but not in this environment, because then you're like, well, why do they want to be friends with me? Are they trying to exploit what my weaknesses are? So I'm a thinker. I think like this. I'm like, why are they trying to be nice to me? Why are they helping me? Are they feeding me little things to trip up on? In my head, this whole competition was just hard. That's the psychological aspect of it. When it came to like challenges of artistry in like the flash challenges, super hard as because I'm not super artsy like that. And then when it came to tattooing, I'm just like, damn, I've just been getting color tattoos this whole time. I don't even do colors. I didn't bring one bottle of color, not one. And then when we had to do that caricature portrait thing, I was like, this is so because it goes against everything that I know and that I've done. I'll do portraits in black and gray. I do understand to a certain degree when you do a really nice portrait, there are certain things you accentuate and there's certain things you downplay, right? That is your job as a tattooer, to translate and what will read best. Now, what you guys were asking for was a portrait, but characterized.
Skewed.
So exaggerating drastically, but still being recognizable as that person. Hard already. Difficult.
Horrifying.
Very difficult. Then, in color, more difficult. Then the canvas I get, it's this woman's niece.
Kid portraits are really hard. They still haven't developed really strong features, and it makes it even harder to exaggerate them.
Most tattooers that do portraits understand that baby photos and like kid photos are pretty hard to do, especially if they're not developed in their facial structure, right? Because they can just look like a generic
Kid.
baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? So it was super hard. What I said to random people throughout the competition, sometimes you just gotta turn in that paper. You just gotta accept the C- and roll with it, because sometimes when you turn in a C-, it's better than a 0.
Yeah, no, it's always better than a zero. Always
yeah,
better
what are you
than
gonna
a
do? Just
zero.
not do it?
It's brutal because, man, when the entire world is your
Oh,
stage,
dude.
when the world is your stage and you get up and you're attempting something that you don't do, that you've
Yeah.
probably never done. Have you ever done a new school color portrait?
I sat next to Bobby when you guys announced it, and I leaned over to Bobby, I was like, what's new school? I don't know what new school is. If you were to tell me right now, I'll give you $5,000 to be able to fully define what new school tattoo is right now, I'd be like, I don't know. I know it's not American traditional. I don't know what new school is. But hey, at least I'm honest about it.
Yeah,
If someone
absolutely.
walked in the door and said, hey, I want a new school tattoo, I'd be like, you know what? Let me get a tattoo that can do that for you, because I don't usually do
Same.
that.
I do
right?
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this sense, there is no alternate.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
substitute tattooer to refer them to. You know.
Yeah.
What I will say though is, you had a great attitude and you swung for it. You really did.
I definitely swung for it.
Yeah. Is there anything looking back now with that tattoo in particular that you would have done differently?
I would have pulled that shadow all the way across to the middle of her forehead. That's what I would have done differently. But you know what's crazy is what people at home don't understand is when you're like an artist and you're working on something and you're so into it, you forget to pull back sometimes. Most people who aren't artists don't get that. So if I would have just taken the 2 seconds and stepped back and said, hey, stop thinking and just look, I would have seen that cast shadow, because when I was sitting there and you guys were pointing out, I'd be like, it's right in the middle of her forehead. Why didn't I do that? Because I'm just in my head like, hey, am I packing this color? You're thinking about all this different you're thinking about that everyone said like a week ago. So yeah, that's what I would have done differently. Would I would have attempted to make it a caricature? No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have. I stand by the decision I made. I think She's stoked with her tattoo.
Yeah.
She was like, dude, this looks just like her. I'm happy. I told her, I was like, I'm glad you're happy. I can't wait to try to sell this to the judges. And I was telling her the whole time, like, I would tattoo and I would laugh. I'm like, this is not the assignment. They're gonna be so mad. This is not the assignment.
You're like, is there something like extra credit I can do to like raise my grade?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
My life story.
Yeah, you took a good swing at it. And it wasn't a bad tattoo. You know, at that point in the competition, the challenges are gonna get harder and you're amongst the best of the season.
And everyone's good.
Everyone is good.
That was so hard. My whole game plan and strategy was hoping that someone would make more mistakes than me.
Hey, have you done any color portraits before?
Never in my life, that was my first one. That machine that I used to do color packing and did like 98% of the tattoos that I did, I just got like 2 days before I flew out.
Holy shit.
I don't do color tattoos that often.
Yeah.
Never. And if I do, you even called it out. When I do tattoos, they're usually like bangers or like palm-sized tattoos that I do. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm more like solid saturation, like super like packed bright. The people that are the best at color portraits in the world spend, you know, I mean, how long has Nico been tattooing? Like 20 some years, almost 30 years or something like that. He's done a lot of but the way that Nico is able to get it so realistic, it's been his like life's work. You know, literally years to perfect skin tone and hue. It's a really hard genre to try to master. Yeah. And the fact that you did your first new school tattoo and your first color portrait tattoo with millions of people watching you. It's like, God, the only thing worse is if I tried to snowboard for the first time on television. That would be a train.
You've never snowboarded in your life?
Never snowboarded.
Don't you live in Colorado?
Yeah, I just have cocktails in the lodge.
I love
you know,
that.
it's my place.
I love that.
Yeah, it's where I belong. Maybe someday. Would you like to play a little game?
Sure.
Okay.
Is it hard?
Your smile just went away. This is a fun game.
Well, that's why I asked if it was hard. You know why? It's called emotional trauma. Because all the fun games we played on the competition were hard. They were all hard.
Listen, they're hard until about a year from now when you realize it was one of the best times of your life. So here's how we're gonna play this game.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you a few different tattoos from one of your competitors, and you need to guess who these tattoos belong to. Let's roll.
Freddie. I love Freddie. I was his teammate. I know my people.
Oh, Bryan, I think you guessed it in the first one.
Oh, my bad. Wait, hold on. Oh, I don't know. Oh my God,
Who is that? Is it Charlene?
Oh, that's so crazy.
It's weird.
Maybe Jazzy. She loves color. She loves doing color work. No, it's Freddie. Freddie is such an amazing tattooer, and he just like, I love Freddie. He's a good tattooer, and you can tell Freddie's work from like a mile away.
Yeah, I mean,
sick.
it's sick, man. Look at that.
Good tattooer,
It's insane. Wow, this was a fail.
Sorry.
Yeah, the date was going great until she had me play this game. It was really weird.
And I decided to just crush her in it.
Well, you got it, you win.
That's it? Just one?
Okay, well, since you breezed through that one.
Since you don't believe in foreplay, let's do this again.
Do it again. All right, next round. Bright color.
I mean, do you want me to lie? I know who did it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know why you know this? You're like a sponge, Bryan.
Because I pay attention.
You pay attention to everything. You do.
Is that the same person's portfolio?
Yes.
I recognize the color palette.
Would that one have thrown you for
would
a
have
loop
thrown
if it
it
was
off
first?
a little bit because she doesn't usually do traditional tattoos. She does that stuff. Sid.
Yeah, Sid. I love her tattoos.
So sick.
I love her tattoos.
I can't believe how like amazing her line work is and how thin it is.
I think I might have her do a face tattoo on me.
What are you going to get?
I don't know, we'll find out. Her line work's just so good. It's so cool.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, that's what it is with this game, Bryan. You actually pay attention to like every single intricate detail of your competitors, of the room, of what's being asked of you.
I feel like that was my strategy. I know, and I can be honest, I'm not the best tattooer in the world.
You're pretty good.
I'm okay. I can do a tattoo. It'll stick. It'll stay.
It'll stay.
It'll stay.
And look exactly the same day 1 and day 7,000.
It'll stay, but I feel like when I got here, I was like, look, you need to be brutally honest with yourself. What are your strong suits? And my strong suits are just
salesman.
Listening.
Oh, listening. Yes.
I can sell sometimes, but I'm not gonna try to sell something to you because you know me.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
just gonna be like, shut
the
dude.
up.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll sell, but yeah, so I just try to pay
Yeah.
attention, and I paid attention to everyone's work.
What does the future hold for Bryan Black?
I'm gonna do the same thing that I aspire to do since I was in middle school. just have fun. I just want to surf as much as humanly possible and get amazing waves and then do tattoos in between. That's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you said just the same thing I've wanted to do since middle school, and I had all these things come into my head being like, I don't think you could say any of those things, Bryan. I'm glad it was surfing.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
You want to do art, enjoy life, and be content.
Yeah, I just want to do cool tattoos and get nice waves. That's it.
No more color portraits coming up in the future?
Honestly,
or
I'd
something?
do them. I would do it.
Well, you already have one under your belt, right?
Did you see the one I did?
Now, when people come in and say, can I have a color portrait? You can say, yes, I have done that before.
I've done one.
I have done one.
Yeah, it
That's
sent
great.
me home, but I've done it.
All right, Bryan, I adore you. Thank you so much for this lovely date. Have you decided who's paying the bill?
We should dine and dash.
Should we dine and dash?
Yeah,
All right,
but
let's get the
I'm gonna
fuck
leave
out.
first though.
Oh, great.
What?
Great, okay.
Because I gotta hold the door open because I'm a gentleman. Oh, you didn't think about that part.
Okay,
Because I believe in
okay.
romance still, Ryan.
I've gotten that from this interview, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that very much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Bryan, you're the best. Thank you so much. And thanks to all of you guys at home for tuning in to another episode of No More Ink. And don't forget to subscribe to the Ink Master YouTube channel for everything Ink Master.